Hi, in this tutorial you are going to learn how to create a business card and get the document set up. So we'll talk about using guides, and we'll talk about how you set up your bleeds and how the artwork works on your document. So the first thing, this is what you might end up with: a front side and a back side of your business card, with this red guideline being the bleeds and these blue guidelines being guides for the artwork. So first thing I'm going to do is show you how to start it. So you just go to File, New Document. We want to make two artboards, one for the front, one for the back. We want the size of the document to be 3.5 by 2. Now, if you want your card to be a vertical card, you would do the width 2 and the height 3.5. But a standard business card is 3.5 by 2, either vertical or horizontal, in inches. The next thing we're going to do is bleeds. Bleeds are artwork that extends beyond the document. And the reason we want to have artwork that extends beyond the document is for trimming and printing purposes. So we're going to add a bleed. We're just going to click this up arrow, and if you have them linked together and you have this clicked, they're all going to link. So you have a 1/4 inch bleed all the way around, or 1/8 of an inch bleed all the way around the document. And then you can say OK. So now you have two documents here. I'm going to recommend that you pull in some guides as well. So let's pull up the rulers. So it's View, Rulers, Show Rulers. And now we have rulers on the top and the left. So we're going to pull in. So I'm just going to click on the ruler, and I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to drag it in. And I'm going to pull in a guide. And so right here I've got my, right here I'm going to do like maybe an 1/8 inch bleed, or an 1/8 inch guide all the way around. So I'm going to do the same for the top. I'm going to pull down from the ruler, and I'm going to drop it. So I'm looking at the left. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to make a guide on the bottom. Click and hold, pull down. Now I'm looking at the ruler on the left and putting it on that. The blue guides are really to just get us thinking about how close artwork can be to the edge without it looking too tight or squished. So we've got a guide on all 4 sides on each of these documents. Okay. The red is where the artwork is going to go out to, anything that goes off up to the edge of the page. And then anything that needs to be legible needs to be inside this blue square. So here's where you will paste your logo. Once you've completed your final logo, you will copy it and paste it into your document. This is a really great starting point. And you've hopefully created some sketches of what you want your business card to look like. And you can just start working on it. Start inputting the information, setting the type, adjusting the spacing, both the leading and the kerning, grouping text, aligning text. So things that we've learned already. So we want to emphasize, have some hierarchy within our text. So making sure that you have, I'll show you this example, making sure that you have some hierarchy in your text. So here we've got the title, the name of the person, much bigger than the rest of the information. We've contrasted the office and the number with different, it's the same font, but much smaller and italicized. We've bolded and italicized the email address. And so we've got kind of all of the same font family, but just using italics and bold and sizing to separate those out a bit. Again, if you want to incorporate a slogan, this is a good place to do that. So basically what I did for this design, I've got the leaf, and I just took the orange piece that I created. So I'm going to use my white arrow, and I'm going to copy and paste it. So I use this leaf as I have to select the leaf as a background, basically. So you can see for the background, I've created some pattern, I guess, or texture, little bit of contrast, a lighter green and an even lighter green, and I repeated that logo for a repetitive element. I also noticed that my logo has these kind of wavy lines, and so I thought the lines, I could repeat those wavy lines in the way I broke up the text. So at the bottom here, I've got this kind of wavy line across the bottom, and I've got this other kind of wavy, slanted, angled line, much like the logo, repeated as well. And so now it creates some nice spaces to put text. I've got this white area here, this green area here, and this orange area here, and these are all colors that are within the logo already. You could also bring in some imagery at this point, some patterns and textures and things like that for your card. And maybe you will introduce another color. The back side of the card, I chose to just put the website on the back. You can choose where you want to put this information, but keep in mind the first thing they're going to see is the front of the card. So the contact information is probably going to be the most important information, and you can decide what goes on the back. Maybe it's just a logo. Maybe it's the website. Maybe it's a slogan. Maybe it's a photo. Maybe it's an illustration. One thing I do need to keep in mind, though, that I didn't set this document up quite right. I need to have this, anything that goes up to the edge of my document here, it needs to bleed out to the red line. So I'm just going to move these anchor points out. And you can prevent having to do this by just creating the right, this goes up to the edge of my document, that black line. So I'm just going to pull those individual anchor points out to where I need it to be. So the artwork is going to bleed off the page, and we will trim off this excess artwork. All of this that gets in this area between the document and the bleed, that's called the slug. The slug area will get trimmed off. Okay. If you want to now look at everything without the guides, and of course this one, I should come back to this one. This one also needs to be the same size. It needs to bleed, since it goes up to the edge of the document, it does need to bleed off. If you have artwork that doesn't go up to the edge of the document, a background, an image, whatever it might be, then you don't need it to bleed. Okay, so there's my document. If I want to view this without the guides, I can go to View, Guides, Hide Guides, and that kind of gives us a better idea as well. So there you have it. That's how you start working with your business card. One more thing. When you are setting your type, anytime we have a group like this, it's all lined left, they're very close together, I would recommend just doing a text box. Click and drag to create your text box, okay? If it's not something like this and this being two separate things, they're not near each other and they're not in the same alignment, this is just a separate text box or just a single click. Remember, if it's a single click to create this line of text, you're able to scale it. If you put it in a text box, you're not able to scale all of the text in the text box as easily.